guys, so this is going to be kind of a weird video. I don't do voiceover too often, but there isn't really a better way to tell this story. So I kind of wanted to make a video because basically the day that this happened, where I had to go to urgent care, was the day I was planning on filming a couple videos, and since I didn't get those done, there will be a gap in my upload schedule if I don't upload anything. So I decided that I would just tell you guys the story of the time that I went to urgent care, one of many, but this is just the most recent one. So the day started out relatively normal. Nothing was different in the morning, but throughout the morning, like into the early afternoon, like around 11 o'clock, Michaela and I started to realize that I was having a pretty intense migraine. I do get migraines. I haven't gotten them really often up until like this first one, and then I've gotten them a couple days after. But basically, my migraines sometimes can lead into me not being able to see in one eye, or me being unable to move my body, and so they're pretty serious. And this one basically was the first one that I had had since I had my seizure, which, if you guys don't know, I took a certain medication and it caused me to have a very serious migraine, similar to what this one felt like, and it caused me to have a seizure. So I decided it would be a good idea to call my doctor and to let her know that this is what was happening, and she immediately told me that I should probably go to urgent care or the emergency room in order to be seen, so that I can hopefully get rid of the migraine before a seizure happens. And basically I told Michaela, I'm like, we need to go to urgent care, and Michaela was like, all right, let's go, let's do this. So I was sleeping over at Michaela's house at the time, so we packed up everything there, and we drove an hour to where my main hospital system is, and we went to the urgent care there, and they had us sit in the waiting room for a pretty long time. In total, we were there around 5 hours, so it was, horrible, but I'm gonna tell you guys the story of what happened. So once we got there, I explained to them that I'd been having some diarrhea, vomiting symptoms, as well as the usual migraine symptoms that I have, and I told them that my doctor told me to come because she was worried about me having a seizure and me being very dehydrated, etc. So they gave me this bag in the waiting room, which I just thought was really interesting because I thought it was funny that I was going to have to hold on to this bag for a while where we waited, which we were in the waiting room for quite a long time. I'm not exactly sure how long, but I know that the total time that we were there was around 5 hours, so that includes the time that we were in the back. But we were in the waiting room for quite a long time, and Michaela and I watched this show on the TV. We watched this like house renovation channel while we were waiting, and the weird thing is that it didn't seem like really busy, but it did take a while for us to get in, so kind of weird. Then a nurse came and took me back, and they had me sit up on the table, and they wanted me to lay down because I do have orthostatic intolerance. I've got orthostatic hypotension, so they wanted me to lay down back on this pillow, and I was kind of sitting there for a while she asked me about all my symptoms and entered everything in. And then after that, she could not see any of my veins, so they weren't able to find my vein. So they would have started an IV right away, but they couldn't find them. So they had to put a rubber glove with warm water in it on the spot that you would normally put the IV to hopefully get the veins to pop out and be easier to stick. So it was kind of funny to have to sit there with that for a little while. It was very jiggly and fun to play with. We waited there for a while, and then a doctor came in who told me that due to the fact that she was concerned that I was going to have a seizure, they had to start the IV right away. And so she had me, sit up, and somebody put the IV in. So basically they put it in and they started doing saline, which I'm already prescribed infusions, so I'm used to this. I kind of know how it goes. I've had it done a couple times. And basically I started receiving saline, and they also said that I was going to receive a couple different kinds of medications. So the usual migraine cocktail they give you, is probably what they gave me. It's still a little bit hazy, but I'm guessing that that's sort of what it was. So I had to have 2 injections via the IV, and then one of them was actually a shot that they had to do in my hip, so that was uncomfortable. After 1.5 bags of saline, she finally felt safe allowing me to drink something that, was through my mouth, because basically before then I'd been throwing up clear liquids, throwing up almost anything I took down, even like ice cubes. So, and that's relatively normal for me. We believe I have gastroparesis, so that's something that I already struggle with. But when you're also having a migraine, that type of dehydration is really dangerous. So they had me do 1.5 bags of saline, and then she came in with some apple juice and a little syringe thing and had me drink 10 cc's of apple juice. So that was really weird.
What are you doing?
I'm drinking apple juice through a syringe.
Why?
Because they're worried I'm going to throw it up.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay then. Have fun. 10 cc's of apple juice, please.
Order up.
Thank you.
But then every 10 minutes or so, I was allowed to have 10 more cc's of apple juice, so that was nice because I hadn't been able to keep down any food at all day, so I'm sure my blood sugar was really low. And after I started getting the sugar in my body again, I started to feel a lot better. After that, they took my vitals again and told me that they felt that it was okay for me to leave, but that I couldn't really overdo it. I was not allowed to drive for 24 hours, and they recommended that I not really go anywhere or do anything. They recommended that I try and take it as easy as possible and then call them if the migraine came back. And it didn't come back that day, didn't really come back too much that weekend. I did have a headache, but nothing as horrible as this migraine was. And then, a couple days later, it did come back, but I've been talking with my doctor, and we believe that there might be some treatment options available. So we're going to look into those before we continue, just sending me to the urgent care every time this happens. So, yeah.
All right, how are you feeling?
I feel a lot better.
How many hours did that take?
A lot.
Exactly 5. And they really didn't come in until hour 3.
Yeah.
3.5.
But it's okay. I got 2.5 liters of saline and a lot of Zofran, way more than I've ever taken before. And
basically, she has 12 mgs of Zofran in her.
So after that, we went home, and I just kind of relaxed, didn't really do too much crazy stuff for the next couple days, just because we were kind of concerned that something bad would happen. But luckily, the only other thing that happened was I did have another migraine. Nothing this horrible, but I did have another one a couple days after this. So that was my trip to urgent care this past week on Friday. So very fun way to spend your Friday. 10 out of 10, would not recommend. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm really sorry this video probably isn't very exciting. I will hopefully be back to my normal content, not tomorrow, but the next day. I usually upload every other day. So I will hopefully be back to my normal content by then. It's just I, obviously couldn't film when I was in urgent care, so this is the best I could do. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in whatever we make next. Bye!